My cousins and I went on a forest walk during our last vacation. Sometimes there were so many trees and other plants, it was hard to see. The forest ranger told us that this was because all the leaves were trying to catch as much sunlight as possible. She said it helps them make food. We watched this cartoon when we got back to camp. Click the glowing circles to discover a little more about the things we saw that day. The ranger said that over many years, even large trees can grow in the space left by the fallen tree. As it grows, it pushes up and its leaves are able to gather more sunlight. Can you curl up in a ball and then reach up high like a tree? It's good to stretch. The forest ranger got everyone to be really quiet. Then, all of a sudden, crack, boom! We all jumped as the tree fell in the forest. Look how it crushed all the leaves on the shrubs beneath it. The ranger told us that over time, the tree would be food for other organisms. Other plants will also grow. Now that the tree is on the ground, more sunlight reaches the forest floor. This allows grasses and small plants to grow. As they grow, their leaves spread out as far as they can. Each plant will have different leaves. Some will be long and thin. Others will be wide and curvy. The ranger says that she can tell the type of plant by looking at its leaves. I'd like to know how to do this. Would you? Welcome to the lesson. What are leaves like? In this lesson, you'll look at different types of leaves and discover how we can use words to describe them. The vocabulary terms for this lesson are tree, shrub, and leaf.
Tree. A large plant with one main stem called a trunk. Leaf. The part of a plant that uses light, air, and water to make food for the plant. Shrub. A kind of plant with many woody stems. A bush.
On a hot, sunny day, it's nice to sit under a tree. Is it the branches of the tree that block out the sun and keep you cool? Or is it the leaves that grow from those branches? Mostly, it's the leaves. In the fall and winter, the shade under the tree is less as the leaves fall to the ground. Last summer, my family went to visit my cousins, who live in the countryside. I thought I'd miss my friends, but we had so much fun making new ones. Do you want to take a look at some of the pictures? Click the little pictures to see the bigger ones. Just behind my cousin's house was the town park. Nearly every day, we'd run across the grass and run around the tall, leafy trees and short, leafy shrubs. When we sat to rest for a while, we noticed how many different plants there were. We tried to count them, but there were so many that we kept losing count. The grass we played on was the first plant we counted. It was really green and had long, pointy leaves. That's right. The grass you see on the ground is actually lots and lots of grass leaves. In the evenings, after a yummy dinner with lots of fresh vegetables, my cousins would play in their garden. It had lots of plants too. Many of the plants in the garden were called shrubs. They were shorter than the trees, and they had lots of woody stems instead of one big one. Their leaves also had lots of different shapes and colors, and some even had flowers. This shrub was my favorite. It had beautiful red berries and dark green leaves. What shape do you think these leaves are? Are they long or short? Are they wide or thin? I think they're shaped like an eye. What do you think? On the way home from my cousins, we stopped by the side of the road so my mom could rest a little. My sister and I took this picture of a maple tree in the nearby meadow. The leaves had turned a beautiful orange-red color as the summer ended. Do you want to take a closer look? Click the last picture. When my mom had rested, she walked us to the tree and lifted me up. I was able to take this beautiful picture of the leaves. Can you count how many pointy parts these leaves have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 parts. The middle part looks the biggest, and the others look smaller. When we describe leaves, we can use color, shape, size, and even numbers. Since my vacation in the country, I've been taking photos of different types of plants. Take a look at the little pictures and think for a while. Can you use words to describe these leaves? When you're ready, click the little pictures to see if you were right. These leaves are green and have smooth edges. You can also see little yellow lines. I think these help bring water and food to the leaf. What do you think? Wow! These leaves are really long and pointy. They almost look sharp. Their edges are smooth, and there are lots and lots of them on each branch. These leaves are mostly yellow, with some green in the middle. They are large, wide, and curvy. This is a close-up picture of a leaf. You can see that it is long and pointy, and it has a jagged edge. You can also see that it has little lines running through it, like the leaf at the top of the screen. When I ran my fingers over it, it felt rough. This is called its texture. Amazingly, these are leaves too. My dad said they are called pine needles, but just as on the other plants, they are leaves too. They are long, thin, green, and pointy. The new needles in this picture felt soft, but the older ones felt hard. From colorful flowers to tall trees. Plants vary in size, shape, and color. They can feel different from one another too. The way a plant feels is called its texture. Click the picture to take a look at some of these plants. Plants come in different shapes, round, long, and even spiky. Plants come in different sizes. These trees are very tall. Some plants can come in all different colors. These tulips are red, yellow, and pink. Plants have different textures. This plant is smooth and silky. Now that we've looked at some types of leaves and discovered some ways to describe how they are different, can you sort these leaves? Some have smooth edges or are wide. Others have jagged edges or are long. Drag the leaves you think best fit into these two boxes. You got them all. There are many, many different shapes, sizes, colors, and textures of leaves. Scientists, like you, use these to help describe leaves. Great work! You've learned a lot about types of leaves and how we can use words to describe them. Before we finish, let's check the main points you've covered. Leaves grow on trees, shrubs, and grasses. Each leaf can help tell what type of tree, shrub, or grass you are looking at. We can describe a leaf using its size, shape, color, and texture. You can also count the number of parts that make up the whole leaf and see if it has smooth or jagged edges. Now that you've finished this lesson, if you wish, you can go back and review any part of the lesson again.